Whenever you have a budget or anything else to do with the government, it's all about framing the narrative, isn't it? Uh, Making them believe what you want them to believe so you can do what you want to do. And the budget should be no different. We had the budget yesterday, didn't we? And we learned who's going to be worse off and who's going to be best off out of this whole thing. I just wanted to run through a couple of bits with you now. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing alright. We're at the end of the week now, aren't we? Got the weekend ahead. Let me know what your plans are. Obviously I'll be doing the live stream with Sanity Checkers on Sunday at 9 o'clock, which should be good. I look forward to that. And apart from that, it'll be an easy weekend. Let me know your plans. Well, yes, the budget. The current narrative at the moment is we're in the shit. It's all Liz Truss's fault. She's blown billions of pounds, her and that Kwarteng fella, and we've got to pull our belts in and cut our cloth accordingly, yada, yada, yada. And we had the budget yesterday. Usually with the budget, I find that you're blinded by science and bullshit, and sometimes it's very hard to ascertain what's actually in it for you or not, as the case may be. And I like to do a video like this just to go through things with people and just point out the key bits, just in case you get blinded by science. But before I do that, I want to play you a little piece of video by Richard Tice. It was an interview he did with Bev Turner on GB News, and I found it very interesting. I'm going to play it and see what you think.
And there's no question that people are fuming with what's going on. People have lost trust in politicians. They've lost confidence in the system. What works in the UK at the moment? Which public services are working well, even though people are paying the highest taxes for 70 years already? And we know that we're about to be sort of confronted with even more tax rises in a couple of days' time. And the real tragedy, and I've been campaigning on doors just yesterday, where I'm standing at the next election in Hartlepool, the real tragedy is there's no need for any tax rises whatsoever. Actually, the government's balance sheet, if they know how to run the country properly, is strong. There's so many areas where there's vast amounts of government waste. We all see waste everywhere. Absolutely. We're looking at our own household budgets, and you're saying, right, how can I save 5 quid in 100? Businesses are doing the same. If the government did the same and said to every single manager of every spending department, you've got to save 5 quid in 100 without touching frontline services, that's 50 billion.
There you go. Sort out government wastage. Problem solved. Get them to cut a few quid out of their own budgets, and you could save something like 50 billion. It's not rocket science, is it? This from a proper actual businessman who knows what he's talking about, unlike these, Westminster bubble lot that you do have to worry about. Anyway, let's have a look through and pick up the key points of the budget for you. Now, usually with budgets, is the fuel going to go up? How much is a packet of fags? And will it cost more to get pissed? Among other things. But there's a big list here, and I'll pull out some of the key points. One of them, legally enforceable minimum wage for people aged over 23 to increase from £9.50 to £10.42 an hour. Oh, wow, everybody will earn more money. The problem is it will cost businesses more to front that money, and will everybody keep their job? Not sure about that one. I've always wondered about the minimum wage. I mean, the very first job I had when I was 20, I think I got paid £2.50 an hour. Christ, you'll roll your eyes at that, wouldn't you, in this day and age? But it's good there is a standard, minimum wage. But does £10 an hour cut it in this day? No, it doesn't. If we move to energy, this price cap that was supposed to end in the beginning part of 2023, it's been extended through to 2024 now. I think it's going through to March 2024, and instead of £2,500, the cap's lifted slightly to £3,000. But again, that's just based on typical use. It's not a hard and fast rule. Anyone that's on means tested benefits, universal credit, tax credits, all that sort of thing, at some point over the next year, they're going to get 900 quid cost of living payment like last time. I can see that being split and probably pay towards the end of the year when it starts getting colder. So we'll have to wait for that, I think, but we'll see. There's no hard and fast news. There'll be a £300 payment to pensioners and £150 for people on disability benefits. Again, there's no news as to when this is going to come through, but it's more spend, isn't it? There's going to be a 45% tax on companies that generate electricity, which will apply from January, and a windfall tax on profits of oil and gas firms increased from 25 to 35% and extended until March 2028. I find that interesting. That's a couple of Parliament's time. So we'll have to see about that. Yeah. Benefits. Here's a good one. Benefits and pensions are going to go up roughly in line with inflation, roughly about 10%, which will help. It will certainly help. I noticed Martin Lewis did a thing earlier with the pointing out the key points, and this is one of the things he said. It could put an extra few £100 a year in your pocket, but I'm sure they'll take it off you in other ways. This is one that will piss off the electric car people. Electric cars, vans and motorcycles from April 2025 will then have to pay road tax, whereas at the moment I do believe they're not. Council tax. I did a video on this a day or two ago, and I mentioned it that I was worried about the referendum limit being gotten rid of, as in if you want to put it up by more than 2.99% at any one time, I might as well call it 3%, you have to have a public referendum. Well, instead of getting rid of it, Jeremy's lifted that to 5%. So I think that they will put our council tax up by a hell of a lot more. In all, bills are just going up. There's no easy way around it. And it's going to be interesting times ahead. That's really the key points that I picked out, which will affect me and probably most of you, and you've got business and infrastructure, government spending and all the rest of it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, where this is going, what you thought of it. And yeah, we'll go from there. Let's stick together. Let's get through it. Toodaloo.